Good evening, everybody, and welcome. And thank you so much for coming along to activate some new soul codes and looking at some of the stories and some of the delusions that sit around our edginess around being the truth of all of who we are and being the truth of our soul. So already it makes my heart sing when I see all of the beautiful registrants, and it's lovely to see some of our male brothers have also registered. So whether they're live or listening, much welcome. And so I'm just going to run through what we're going to do tonight, and then we'll dive in. And again, if you're watching the recording, apologies for the slight technical hitch with the sending the link that wasn't active. But anyway, there we go. So tonight is about activating the new soul codes. And, you know, people have said, what's new soul codes? Like, what's that about? And they're new soul codes because of the particular pathway that humanity and Earth is choosing at the moment. So there was always going to be a great awakening. That's not a new thing. And any of the historical papers and all of the wise beings always knew that at some point there was going to be this great awakening for humanity and for Earth. And that's very much where we are now. And so there were a number of possible pathways for this new awakening. And depending on what that pathway was, certain aspects of your soul will be called alive and that are relevant to the way the world is progressing into the new awakening and what's happening for humanity and what's being called from you. So if there'd been another war, different aspects of you would have come alive in order to be the most radiant essence of you in those circumstances. And so as it turns out, we are in these circumstances. And so what we're doing tonight is bringing alive those aspects of you that have been waiting to, if you like, waiting to see how the Great Awakening was going to roll out and what parts of you then are actually really excited about being awoken, and how can you contribute into that awakening and from this radiant essence, which is the truth of who you are. So that's why it's called New Codings. And we will be working with doing a clearing to make space, if you like. Again, this is sort of symbolic language, but to make space for these new aspects of you. It's not about throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I want to make that very clear, but it is about, you know, most of the people I speak with know that there's another piece of magic in here. There is something different. There's something that you may not have never considered yourself doing or being before that is actually rumbling inside of you. And the reason that it's rumbling inside of you is that you are answering the call of what the new earth energy is asking you to be and to contribute in this great awakening. So, you know, even late last year, I know a few of my clients got involved in politics, something that they never, ever, ever dreamt they would. And here they were involved in politics. And I know that there are some people amongst this group who are far more stepping into the activist type of role that they may be never thought they would. And this is the kind of energy that I'm talking about. I also want to make very clear that it doesn't mean that it is, if you like, those bigger, it's easy for us to say they're big things. It's like, oh, you know, that's not me and all of that. And we're going to be dealing with some of that later on in the call. But every aspect of you, like you and your world, where so if you're mothering, if you're in business, it doesn't matter where you are. There's a new aspect of you within that space. And so this is not always about, for all the introverts on the call, it's okay. We're not asking you to wave a banner, or you're not asking of yourself, actually, that. So, certainly in my life, and I'm sure in many of others, it's often the introvert that actually has the perler that sets a whole lot of actually other things in train. So yay, introverts. But in whatever size of that may be, it's actually completely irrelevant. But what is supportive of you and your satisfaction in life and your soul satisfaction is the answering of this call. And so tonight we're activating, we're going to clear, and then we're going to go on a beautiful journey to activate up these codes. So I'm going to do a little bit more explanation around that so that you receive the deepest and deepest and deepest and deepest activation that you possibly can, and allow your awareness to broaden and deepen, that it runs congruently with this activation that we're actually doing tonight. So every now and then I will pause and check out the chat. Or if you have any burning questions during those pauses, then please, by all means, unmute yourself and ask. I won't be checking the chat as I'm rolling. I will deliver, and then I'll come back and have a look at the chat as we're going. So, questions? Hello. Great. Person having a sound. Yes, everybody's going on the list for receiving the recording, and this will go for somewhere between 60 and 90 minutes. So So I think everybody can actually relate to this sense that there are some different things being asked of us, and there are some different opportunities opening up for us in this world and the world as it unravels. And so tonight we're going to bring these energies alive. So when I talk about energy, I'm talking about like the quantum field. So everything is energy and a frequency. And the way that I see into that field is I see the patterns, if you like, or the constellations. And when we as beings have this constellation of energy in our field. So it makes some of us funny. It makes some of us outgoing, it makes some of us introvert. It's like there's this natural, what we call the natural ability. And so, mystics, if you like, or the knowing of the soul has always known about this coding, and coding is a relatively current, probably description of this. But in essence, if you look at some of the quantum work that's being done, it's easier for us to put some language on it now. So we're all actually space more than anything else, and we're waves, and we're atoms and neutrinos and quarks and all of that. And we're not going to go into that tonight. But it's worth realizing that when we're working with this energy activation of the coding, in the process that we're doing later on, we're actually going to that field, because everything moves around in that energy more easily than it does directly if we're just working on our physicality. So all of the work that I do is on the energetic level, incorporating the physicality. So during the process, for those of you who haven't worked with me before, I will be using, amygdalas, limbic systems, nervous systems. You don't need to know all about that. It's not a biology lesson, but it's important that the energies and the different systems within our bodies match, so that after tonight you can sense that there's a greater aliveness in your being and a greater awareness of who you are in this moment and in the future moments. So, people will have heard of DNA healing, and, we will certainly be working with the DNA tonight, because that's the way all the different constellations of light arrange themselves in your being. And the way that they're arranged in your being influences how you show up, both physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, the whole thing. So there's a very, if that sort of thing is an interest for you, there's some amazing work being done by a guy called Nassim Haramein, who is in that quantum field, but is also a very aware and awake person. And he bridges so beautifully. He's a physics person, so he does lots of that language that I kind of get lost in, although I'm totally fascinated by. And he's just a beautiful person to listen to. So we're always discovering more. See, even in this scientific field, there's always discovering more. And tonight, what we're doing is we're going into that field for you to discover more. So these are the new constellations for you, so that you can fulfill that niggle, if you like, that is running in your system. So I just want to talk about humanity, the position that we're in, the possibilities for actually this planet. So, because it relates to your contribution. So this planet is very, 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 very beautiful place, and things are in form. And so we go from that massive field of the quantum and all the space and these tiny little things, and it's actually the light, if you like, condenses down. Actually doesn't really condense down, it condenses, and we are in form, where this unique makeup, everybody's this unique makeup, this new unique constellation of all of these energies, but it's all from source. And so humanity as a species and a race is actually very good at a couple of things. It's hard to believe at times, but we're very good at creation. And humanity is actually very good at harmonizing, not balancing, harmonizing shadow and light. When you balance something, you are still saying that it's separate, that there's shadow and there's light. And whenever we go into good or bad, black or white, shadow or light, we maintain like whether we're in it or we're out of it, or it's working or it's not working. And when we do that and have that experience, we're not in our center and we're not in our power. And so humanity is good at harmonizing. It means it includes the shadow and the light in this unique combination that creates harmony. So, referencing to music, when something is harmonic and when it's not. And it, like how like there's nothing more beautiful or inspiring than hearing a beautiful harmonic. It's like, whoa. And so humanity, and you, me, we all have this ability to be in harmony. So as we're activating these soul codes, it's about greater harmonization. It's like it's more beautiful harmonization. It's a sweeter note of you coming alive. I mean, how divine is that? And so this is about that. We're bringing some new light awake in you, and it's harmonizing within all of who you are and all of who you have been. Some bits of that we have been will be dropping off to make space, as I said before. And so we haven't done anything. I'm going to come to this in a minute about the stories that we might tell ourselves. We haven't done anything wrong. We're not faulty at the moment. We're not thinking we should have woken up earlier or any of those stories. There's an opportunity for you to take a whole lot of judgment off yourself by remembering that everything is actually infinite potential and everything is actually in constant transformation. And this includes you. And when you choose not to expand and grow is when you feel the most shit. Because everything is in transformation and nothing is permanent. So whatever shit we're going through at the moment, it's not permanent. It will change. And everything is infinite potential, and potential is infinite. If you want a mantra on a bad day, everything is infinite potential and potential is infinite. Like, realign yourself and your soul to actually what you know on a deep soul level. On the deep soul level, you know that you're infinite possibilities. That's why, as a soul, you're actually on the planet right now. Like, this is not an accident. If you're doing this type of work, if you're looking at your consciousness, if you're interested to listening to your soul, then it's no accident that you're here in this space on Earth at this point in time. And this is what we're activating up, whatever those, it could be new gifts and abilities, it could be a new paradigm, it could be a new power, it could be a new strength, it could be a broadened connection to the truth of actually who you are and what joy and massive brilliance you bring onto the planet. It is such a divine design, and there is so much joy and growth and curiosity. Life truly is an awakening mystery, and we are awakening some more of that mystery tonight. So, as I said before, we're going to travel out to the quantum field, to the infinite, bring in these new codings, these new constellations, and then bring them back through the process that I'm going to share with you. Bring them back. It's like stepping it into form. So the light condenses into form, and density. Being in a body, as a soul being in a body, this is a gift. I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, it's so dense, it's so uncomfortable in the body," and it's like, whoa, you're missing something. This is such a gift to be in a body. Do you know how much magic is in your body? Like, it is a creation beyond words. And so, when I hear people talk about how painful it is to be this dense, I go, whoa, you've just missed a massive opportunity for such contributions, such joy, such experience. Like, wow, we get to do it in form while we're in form. Souls love that. It's not a punishment to be in human form. You haven't gone here to set everything right. This is an absolute, as I used to say, I haven't actually said this for ages. It's like you won the lottery ticket. It's like you get to experience being source whilst in form with highly creative capacity and with the ability to harmonize polarity. Like, what do you want to do with that? What do you want to do with that power? So as a preparation into this journey, we're going to just break down some of the stories we have around our soul, our capacity, what we can do, what we can't do, what's possible for us. We're just going to break some of these stories down. And so these are some of the things that I hear quite often around why I can't do that, or why I can't be this, or it's like, that's just not me. And so we're just going to pop these into the field of an acknowledgement, acknowledge it in the field. So it's like, I'm too frightened to be all of who I am. I'm too frightened to listen to my soul. It might ask me to do something that I don't know how to do. Just like, if everything is infinite love, which it is, then the universe, you, source, never, ever, ever can ask you to do something you are not completely and divinely designed to do. It just doesn't work that way. One I hear a lot is, oh my God, it feels so big. I feel like when I'm in that space, I feel so big. I feel like it's too big. It's too big. And then running on from that is, I don't know what to do. I don't know. Or if I ask them what that energy feels like, or what it's saying to them, they go, I don't know. And that comes back to this frightened energy. It's like, I'm frightened to look at the capacity of actually who you are as an infinite being, having a human experience, divinely designed, like amazing. You know what? It is big. It is. Totally. It absolutely is. And that bigness, if you like, is so beautiful. When you activate it and set it free in your life, like as we activate up these new codes for you, how will you choose to set them free? The other stories that we might say, well, I'm not good enough, or I'm not so good at that, but this and that and the other, and blah, blah. Like, these are the times when you come back into, I am divinely designed. There is nothing wrong with me. I don't have to be more of something or less of something in order to be anything else. Oops, went too far. People won't like me if I stand, like, this is a really complex and a big thing. And people won't like me if I'm true to who I am, or people won't like it when I'm true to who I am. And I don't talk people out of that. Because sometimes people won't like you for who you are. If you've always been a doormat and you decide that you're actually going to let yourself be true to who you are and have your own dreams, desires, needs and requirements accommodated in a relationship, people may not like that. And they only may not like it because they don't understand what's going on. You know, there's a whole dynamic in there that it doesn't necessarily mean they don't like it. It just means it's so different they don't know what to do about it. So, but these are the stories. I just want to pop them in the field so that as we activate up these codes, these are not impacting you. These are, we will get all of this out of the way so that you can fully receive this coding. So it won't work. It's too different. Like, will people get it? Da 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 da. You know, we are in right now. This is so like, what used to work doesn't always work anymore. Okay, you know, we're all seeing that, and so it's much easier to do things differently than it is to change what doesn't work. So when you're trying to change something that doesn't work, you kind of get in there and it's all grindy and hard work and change it and get people on board with it. Yeah, it's like, no, hang on a second. Why don't we do something completely different? And in your soul coding, that difference that's actually so perfect for now, like so perfect for now, could be in your soul codes. You're a magical piece of a jigsaw puzzle that, you know, you're not, this is not a solo journey. And you bring something to everybody else who's being activated into doing something different. And particularly in the next 10 years, there's going to be lots of different things happening as everything collapses, comfortably or uncomfortably. Worthy story, I'm not worthy. It's like, oh, how come I get to have such a great life when other people are struggling? There's only one answer to that question. It's because you're choosing it. You're not more worthy and you're not less worthy. You're just making different choices. So worthiness is a disconnect from the truth of who you are. And people make lots of stories around that. And what about, you know, everyone else, which is what I was just talking about. So these are all some of the dynamics that you can put us in, whether we're not the most magnificent expression of the truth of who we are. Because in the unity consciousness, you are the universe. Like, you're not separate from the universe. You're made of the same things. That's all of that energy, the quarks, the neutrons, the space, the frequencies, the waves, the particles. You know, we're all stardust. Most of the viruses and bacteria in our body aren't even from Earth, but they're in the body, living away, having a good time. So, you know, we all are the universe. We are source, creator, and we're activating up some new little sparks of light within you tonight that are going to make that even more awesome, more amazing, more satisfying, more contributive. Oop, just like going too fast. So actually, I'm going to go to this next one. Delusion, conclusion, illusion. So as I'm going to be doing the clearing in a moment, I'm going to talk about all the delusions, conclusions, and illusions that are actually sitting in your field that don't serve you. So, you know, delusions, just so that we know exactly what will be moving out of your way this evening pre-activation, is all those things that are defined as fixed and that actually look like it's a conflict with reality. So quite often too at the moment, it's like I'm doing all this inner work, but like, and you look outside and, you know, we're back in a lockdown or we're doing this and that. And so it's very easy to get also disillusioned because you think the reality and what's going on here are actually different, or they're not at one. And that's why it's important to know that this is the great awakening and everything is reconstellating, and you being the light and activating up these codes changes the way things come into form. So they may not come into form instantaneously, but if we're not activating up these codes, these possibilities out in the greater field and resonating as that, with what we know about them and what we don't know about them, but we're resonating it within our being, that resonation, new word, resonating as that impacts the field. So when we go into delusion and it's like, oh, it's not really working because it doesn't look like I thought it would look on the outside, which is because we've made a conclusion about what it's going to look like. And every time we make a conclusion, we actually put the universe in contraction. It's like, it must look like this. And we're in such rapid change that conclusions are not really serving us right now. Staying in the moment and actually being open to the infinite possibilities. What else is possible here? What else is possible here? What else is possible here? And for people who might have been on the call last week, where I was talking about looking for the gaps and filling it up with light. And so less conclusions, more possibilities. And then the illusion that we have, which is that we're misinterpreting a situation. And, you know, we all do these things. It's like if you've been triggered, if there's a wound of rejection or something or other, and somebody says something like, oh, I don't want to hang out with you, or I don't want to go to this thing with you or something or other. I mean, you know, the human being goes, oh, God, I've done something wrong. You know, oh, I must have been horrible to them last week and now they don't want to come. Like you can make up all sorts of stories about that illusion. And all it is that you know, that person actually wanted to spend a special time with somebody else because of their, you know, some hardship or something that they'd been through. And you're going through this, oh, they don't like me anymore, blah, 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 blah. You know, this whole illusion, misinterpreting what you've experienced. So we're going to play around this clearing is, what if you dropped conclusion and embrace possibility? If you take lots of things away from tonight, I would actually also like it to be that what if I dropped a conclusion and embraced a possibility? So if somebody's, you know, we do it so quickly, it's so automatic that we conclude that they're having a bad day, or they've got to, you know, stick up their bum or something. You know, we make a conclusion, or we make a conclusion that I can't do this. What happens if you change that conclusion and embrace the possibility? So what frequency, what space, what willingness can I be that would change this whole experience for me? So what if you choose to stay in possibility? Which is what we're about to do. So all of the things I've just been talking about, the stories and the delusions, you know, where we actually are reconstellating these new soul codes. You're part of the field. If you're not making a judgment on those, they can be good or bad. If they're not good or bad, right or wrong, if you're not picking something up, or if you're not getting it and I still don't know what I'm meant to be doing, if you dropped all of that judgment and all of that conclusion and chose to stay in possibility, I'd love to hear about what happens to your experience of life and to your world. So, any questions or comments? Is this all making sense to you? I would love to hear in the chat if you're resonating with this. Crickets, crickets, crickets. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a clearing and then the activation. So thank you, Pia, making beautiful sense. Thank you so much. Excellent. Charlotte, yes, excellent. Goody. Yes, resonating, beautiful, fantastic. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. All right. Now, I did put in one of the emails that I suggested that you have some water. So now would be a good time for everybody to have some water. One of the energies that's actually present tonight is very much a watery aquamarine kind of colour that we'll be working with a bit later on. So, in preparation for the activation of the new soul codes, anywhere, anytime, or any place. Sorry, I didn't explain for people who haven't worked with me before. I work with a clearing statement and a process where just come with me for the ride, if you like. You don't need to understand it so much as knowing that we're working with the energetics of things to change the way they sit in your energy fields, and it's actually more than a release. It's actually a recalibration of your body and of your being. So Martha Yes, resonating. Sue, loving the way that it's being explained. Sandy says it's great. And Min makes heaps of sense. Excellent. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. All right. So with this clearing, just listen to my words, tune into the energy of your body, let the energy do the work. So anywhere, anytime, any place or any space where you have consciously, subconsciously or unconsciously chosen stories of limitation, of not enoughness or of confusion to limit your presence and to dim your radiance, any and all of that energy goes to the point of trance, moves beyond polarity, and the emerging creations, miscreations, and uncreations, physically, emotionally, mentally, or spiritually, they all collapse, disintegrate, dissolve, disinform, and disappear. Internally, externally, eternally, and infinitely. Any time where you have mistrusted your soul based on external conditions or circumstance, and then spent days, weeks, months, years, decades justifying your decision that hurt in your heart, any and all of that energy can now lovingly in this space collapse, disintegrate, dissolve, and disappear. All of the judgments, you no longer require a judgment in order to stimulate, motivate, or move you in the direction of your soul. Any and all of that programming and imprinting, any of the hardship vows, they all return to the point of trance. They move beyond polarity, and all the emerging creations, miscreations, or uncreations, they can just let go. They can just collapse. They can just easily deconstellate. All the space comes back into your reality, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, consciously, subconsciously, and unconsciously. And a beautiful, beautiful, imagining a beautiful aquamarine colour starting to dance through your energy field. Anywhere, any time, any place or any space where you have given the heart and the soul second place to the mind and mental gymnastics and rationalization and legitimacy and logic, any and all of that energy returns to the point of trance, moves past polarity and all the emanating creations, miscreations, and uncreations. Disinform your being. It's no longer an avenue of information. They collapse, disintegrate, dissolve, disappear. I want you to imagine that beautiful aquamarine colour is actually touching your heart and touching the space between your heart and your throat, beginning to bring life, a different life, alive within you. So any time, space, place, for any reason, for any why, where you decided that the light of your soul was not welcomed, legitimate, power, powerful enough, practical enough, anywhere where you dismissed the truth of the essence of who you are for any reason, for any judgment, matters not. You can just let all of that energy be touched by this aquamarine. It's like liquid light, being touched by liquid light. Letting all those pathways, all the patterns and all the habits of thinking, feeling, letting all of that just dissolve, making space, making some new spaces, making some new spaces. And so as we have cleared and made this new space, we're going to go straight into the activation. So for those of you who do have water with you, every now and then, if you feel to touch the glass of water that you have or to sip that glass of water, then please do so as we're going through this activation. And the reason is that the water will hold some of the frequencies that we're activating. And then I'm going to encourage you to have some more of that water later on tonight or tomorrow. So this beautiful aquamarine energy is very fluid, it's very watery. It's also liquid light. And if you can take a breath in and imagine that that breath in is coming from the center of Mother Earth, if you can breathe in from the center of Mother Earth and breathe out through your heart. Just a normal breath as you feel breath. It can be short, it can be long, it doesn't matter, but breathing in from the center of Mother Earth and breathing out through your heart. And again, consciously breathing in from the center of Mother Earth and breathing out through your heart. And on your next in-breath, imagine that you're breathing in from the center of the cosmos and breathing down and out through your heart. Breathing in from the center of the cosmos, breathing out through your heart. Breathing in from the center of the cosmos, breathing out through your heart. And on your next in-breath, if you can breathe in from both centers, from the cosmos and from Mother Earth, breathing in and breathing out through your heart. And each time you breathe in from the centers of Earth and the cosmos and out through your heart, I want you to imagine that your out breath is traveling further and further. It's like rippling further and further out into the universe. So you're breathing in from the center of Mother Earth and breathing in from the center of the cosmos and out through your heart. It's like a ripple. And this ripple of this energy is traveling further and further. Breathing in from the centers of Earth and the cosmos. Breathing out through your heart. And the energy's really traveling now. You might have noticed the ripple has actually changed. It's going all the way out as far as you can see. Further than you can see, beyond what you can see. I want you to imagine as you go out along this field that you begin to see these sparks of light, all of this coding, all of these constellations and patterns of light. We're out in this field together and you see these beautiful patterns of light. And in this moment, you can kind of just acknowledge the beauty, the power, the passion of this energy. And accept that you are this beautiful mass of light, arranged so intricately and magically. And you may begin to notice as you're in this field that there's 3 or 4 or maybe more particularly bright sparks of light that have really caught your attention. The number is not important, but you can sense these energies, this light. And I want you to imagine that you're acknowledging and you're accepting, you're like you're breathing that light in now to your body. And there's an invitation for that light to go right to the center of your brain, right into this little organ called the hypothalamus that does a whole lot of connectivity work in your body. So you're breathing in the light that's caught your attention. It goes to the center of your brain. And you need not do anything, just let the light that has this invitation to go to the hypothalamus and to your nervous system and your hormonal system, and activating more peace in your being, more strength, more knowing. It's like, let that energy, it's like its home and your home, and together just feel how at home this energy feels. And again, anything that is less than this frequency no longer serves you. In this light, it just poof. And imagine that your heart is receiving this light. And imagine that all of the parts of your brain that make up the emotional pathways, they're all receiving this light. So the amygdala, the limbic system, the nervous system, the hormonal system, everybody's getting this new coding, this new magic, this new capability, this new perspective, this new light, this new passion, this new pathway. And as you're breathing this in, you may start to feel like a crystallizing impact, or it's like you see these little formations coming from the light that you've brought into your body and your being and into your awareness. It's like, oh, it's creating new connections across your psyche, across your circuitry, across your consciousness, new light pathways, new patterns of possibilities. And they're reminding you of your deepest, deepest spiritual wisdoms. Yes, That's why I'm here. This is why I'm here. I remember this light. I remember this light. My body remembers this light. My body knows how to run with this light. It knows how to bring peace, power, presence, passion, possibilities. It knows all of that in your unique way. Only you know this way. Only you are constellated in this particular pattern, and it fits into the global jigsaw. You're a vital piece of the jigsaw puzzle, holding this particular frequency, particular contribution, expansive, full of infinite love, alive in you now. You remember, of course, you're going to enable this light, this knowing, this wisdom in your life. Feel how it nourishes you and nurtures you into the magnificence of who you truly are. Feel how it emanates as your radiance. Deepen your allowance of you, all that you know and all that you don't know. But the light is active in you, as you, is you. You are this. You remember this now. You, should you choose, you can give yourself permission to see yourself and the world in a slightly different way, through different eyes. Your awareness has more capacity. Your intuitive aspect is clearer. Your presence here on the planet, it really fits. It feels so much stronger. What it is that you create and contribute takes you on this incredible ride of experience in life. Amazing. There is no right or wrong, success or failure, worked or didn't work. It's like everything is amazing. It's like activating up within you a deepened realization of the infinite possibilities. And that you are absolutely here to contribute from infinite potential. You don't have to know all the hows. You don't have to know all the whys. But you do know that you're showing up as a radiance, as a particular frequency. And that you will know, and you will find, and you will awaken more and more and more and more. And the connectivity all fits together like that perfect jigsaw puzzle. And it fits together because you stop doing and you're being the radiance. And the doing comes from the radiance. And all is as infinite possibilities can be. And bringing your focus to the bottom of your spine, the base chakra, the area at the bottom of the spine, and just noticing the vitality of a red colour emanating from the bottom of your spine, touching Mother Earth, connecting as this more awakened soul, a bit excited about all those infinite possibilities, less of having to know all the whys and the hows, and more of intuitively being the radiance, being available for infinite possibilities. All of this in this beautiful, vital red, really present from the base chakra. And then shifting your focus to your lower belly, the area of creation, creativity. And just sense, I just got this beautiful picture of the capacity for your creations expanding, but it's like it's a liberation of all of the things that you thought, oh no, it's not even thought, the things that you knew could happen are possible. All of those have this beautiful bright orange vitality to them, or a bit more excitement again about what is possible to create here. Yes. Oh, that's good. And then bringing your focus to your upper belly, the solar plexus. And there's this really bright, gorgeous yellow colour zooming around, emanating from there. It's like, oh, within these codings, this energy of your personal power, not power over, your personal power to be the full radiance of your divine essence. All of that is spinning. It's just like these codes have activated up. It is like it is possible to be this radiance, to be this creative, to be this present, to be this big, to be this powerful. In this incarnation, in this body, in this now. It's all there. It's all running for you. Oh, that's good. And bringing your focus to your heart now, that beautiful green colour. You sense that greater vitality within the beat of the heart. It's like it's got a spring in its step. And the heart energy is being liberated by these codes. It's set free to be more included and inclusive and referred to and respected. The wisdom, the power of the heart as the landing platform for the soul. It's like it's more available to the wholeness of you. That's good. And shifting your focus to your throat chakra and imagining the colour blue. And it's spinning like a wheel with new words, new ways, new communications, full of lightness. There is no right or wrong. You don't have to prove anything or make anything happen. You come here to speak of the light that you are, of the soul that you are, of the difference you are, without it having to be right or wrong, or good or bad, or applicable or logical or sensible. Let the blue be you and spin the truth, which is always based in infinite love. So as your words are free of judgment, they radiate out love and wisdom, possibilities. Oh, yeah. And then bringing your focus to your third eye. Oh, Hey. Oh, just feel that accommodation of a greater capacity for your intuitive insight. It's like the energy is broadened. It's easier. It integrates more easily in your body. Your nervous system knows about it. Your coordination in the hypothalamus knows about it. Your hormones know about it. All of you knows about it. All of you knows about your intuitive connectivity to see deeper into your own soul, to your own possibilities, to the possibilities for humanity, to the possibilities for the planet, possibilities of how we live, how we treat each other. You can see intuitively into completely different possibilities. Hey. And then shifting finally to the crown chakra at the top of your head and allowing this light to broaden your conscious connectivity to all that is and all of the relevance of it and all of the support and all of the wisdom. Really sensing and knowing and being and receiving and perceiving as one the power of that. We're all the universe. It is the universe. This is the universe walking around in form, connected. Always has been, always will be. And imagine that crown expanding, that energy expanding, falls down around you like a beautiful gossamer light. And being with a focus on breathing this in through all the pores of your skin, just listening to the sound I make that helps to integrate all of this tonight. And begin wriggling your toes, moving your fingers, moving your body from side to side, opening your eyes. Having some water. So the water will have absorbed some of the energy of that process. So if you feel to drink all of this water tonight, then by all means do that. But one of the things that felt like would be very beneficial for you is tomorrow if you could just spend a little bit of time outside and communing with nature, sit in your favorite spot, and really acknowledge that there are new codes activated within your being, that that energy that you just experienced is as real as the nose on your face. And this water will help to integrate and remind your body and your being of that experience. So, yeah. If you have any questions or any comments, then by all means, pop them in the chat or unmute yourself. Otherwise, we shall bring this evening to a lovely close. And so here we go. Min, wow, that was amazing. Going to keep bringing it in. Totally, absolutely. Louise, beautiful, Grace, thank you. Love that, and perfect timing for an activation with you. I like the idea to drop the conclusions and embrace the possibilities. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Louise, Sandy, thank you. That was wonderful. Absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure, everybody. So we're in an amazing time in the world, and yes.
Good evening, Grace. Thank you very much. That was beautiful.
Oh, that's a pleasure. Pleasure, Tina. I wonder who iPad was.
May, thank you very much. It was lovely.
Yeah, that's a pleasure, darling. Martha, there we go. I feel really numb, but I trust that it has worked. Yes, indeed. It's a change in the nervous system, just allowing yourself. So particularly have some earth time. I'm not sure where you are, Martha, whether you're on the other side of the world or not. But, you know, day, if it's day, then today, some outside time. Kylie, beautiful. Thank you for your generous gift. That's a pleasure. Emma, beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you, Emma. Feeling ignited, says Ange. Thank you. Sue, it was lovely. Awesome. Yeah, beautiful. Fantastic. And so are all of you. Awesome. Thank you so much for participating, for being here. There will be a recording sent through in the next little while, in the next 48 hours. And in the meantime, enjoy the water, outside time tomorrow or today, depending on where you are, and enjoy what this brings up and what this allows you to be. So, yeah. Much love, everyone. Bye for now.
Thank you, Grace.
Pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye.